Um, James Schmachtenberger has been a friend of mine for a long time. I'm also a big fan of James and his brother. Not only do they have a beautiful name, Schmachtenberger, but they are two of the smartest, most intelligent men I know. And what's amazing about James and his brother, for that matter, is they're brilliant, but they're also totally heart-based. And all of us who know James and love James appreciate that somebody that intelligent is that heart-based. And he's taken that incredible compassion that he has for humanity and created the Neurohacker Collective. And their mission is to advance the human quality of life. The Neurohacker Collective products are radically different because they employ a unique methodology of research and development based on complex systems science. And the scientific approach focuses on supporting the body's ability to self-regulate. Now, the company began with a focus on cognitive products with the launch of Qualia Mind, but it's developed several other products to support sleep, longevity, skin, energy, vision, and even immunity. James was motivated to start the Neurohacker Collective by his own personal struggles to withstand the mental and emotional exhaustion common in fast-paced entrepreneurialism. And I won't go into it, but because I've known James for many years, he's been an entrepreneur who's worked 7 days a week, created several multi-million-dollar companies, and I've watched him go from being pretty stressed out to chill. He's like a chill guy. So he's also a TEDx speaker. He's an activist and a champion of empathetic solutions to global solutions. So James, it's really a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you for the intro. That was awesome.
Well, you're pretty awesome. So tell us a little bit about Neurohacker, like how it began, a little bit more, and what you're experiencing in watching the tremendous success that you're having.
Yeah. So, I was fortunate that early on in my career, I had a decent amount of success, which allowed me to kind of step back from some of the day-to-day and start to turn a lot of attention to more nonprofit types of ventures, and started to take a very deep look at, given my unique sort of sets of skills and capacities and connections, what could I do that would be the most impactful? And there was a lot of different directions that I thought about and considered, but ultimately there was an idea that came through that just had so much inspiration behind it that I couldn't not pay attention. And the basic idea was, could we create something that would profoundly increase intelligence, and intelligence in all the different types of intelligence, and not just the basics of focus and attention, but emotional intelligence and discernment and critical thinking and all these different things, so that people had better sense-making capacity and a greater ability to understand the world in which they were in. And the thought process was, if there was a large number of people who were dramatically more intelligent, this would be able to start to develop more solutions for more problems. So rather than focusing on a specific problem, work on increasing the amount of resources being brought to bear. And at the same time as wanting to increase intelligence, I wanted to look at, could we increase qualities like empathy and compassion? Right? So the idea was, now you've got millions of people who are profoundly more intelligent, more competent, more capable, and because they have enhanced empathy, there's an intrinsic motivation to use that skill set not only for personal gain, but to help their families and ultimately the world at large. So that was really the kind of inspiration behind starting the company. But then when I actually started to dive into the process and look at what would it take to create something that could deliver on that vision, it became clear that the versions of science that were being applied were basically insufficient. I spent a long time meeting with all kinds of chemists and formulators and neuroscientists, and everyone loved the vision, but didn't see a way to be able to make that viable, especially at scale and affordably and accessibly. And so what ended up happening was we essentially had to develop a new scientific model. And so what we did was we took complex system science and began to apply it to the study of human physiology. And what that allowed us to do was to be able to understand physiological systems at a level of detail and nuance that, for the most part, others just weren't looking at. And then being able to understand it in that nuance, be able to look at, for one, how does the system function optimally? And then what are the major issues and causes of any kind of deficiency? And then how could we formulate to be able to support optimal function? And not only to support and get people into optimal function, but to then to be able to increase resiliency so that if something happens that takes someone out of balance, that they have the capacity to be able to come back in. And so that was really what has made Neurohacker special over the years has been this approach to science, this ability to study systems at incredible degrees of detail, to map out entire systems and how they work, to understand all the mechanisms of action that are related to a particular outcome, and then to be able to formulate in a way that supports homeostasis and human optimization. And with that, we started off in cognition, partly because that's where the inspiration came from, right? Make millions of very intelligent, very empathetic people. But also because we recognized that that was a pretty ubiquitous need. Almost everyone was looking to either increase brain function or to be able to slow down or turn around cognitive decline that was occurring. And so we wanted to start there, but it also had another sort of strategic relevance. Part of what got me into this was that when I was 21, I was hit a pretty extreme degree of burnout. I had been running a vocational college that was well beyond what my experience level should have had me doing. And I ended up working 22 hours a day. And by the time I was 21, I got diagnosed with stage 3 adrenal exhaustion, could barely focus. And I knew all the things that I needed to be doing in life. I knew that I needed to eat better. I knew I needed to sleep better. I knew I needed to exercise more, but I just genuinely didn't have the energy to be able to do it. And Qualia didn't exist at the time, but I was able to find other things that could be sort of a kickstart that gave me enough energy and enough ability to start to do all the other lifestyle changes to be able to get life in order. And that's one of the things that has also become really beautiful with Qualia is not only is it a very powerful formula that's helped a lot of people directly, but it also has been something utilized by myself and any number of other people to give that sort of extra support and boost as you're trying to make meaningful lifestyle changes so that you've got the energy and the capacity to actually do it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. And James and Heather, Dr. Heather, are going to stick around, and Troy has agreed to join us. So we're going to have some questions and answers as our after show tonight. And we're also going to show a fun video from Jane Mayer called Love All the People during the after show. And we've got a couple of other things. So definitely please stick around for that. So James has been very generous in helping to introduce our audience to his products. And so I'm going to bring up a couple of things. This is kind of the 5 main products. I have been using mine for quite a while, and it really, truly has helped. That's what made me want to invite James and then Dr. Heather onto the show. This is the first time, 82 shows that we've done, that I've actually endorsed a particular product. That's not something we normally do. But this is the real deal, everybody. Just like, I say to you, hey, Kristen Hoffman and Cornflower, they're the real deal when it comes to music. Or the Twin Ray, they are the real deal. This stuff is the real deal. It is what we all need to really help change our neurochemistry. And honestly, I use all the products except Vision. I haven't started using that yet, but the other products I use. And the Mind, I keep it right here on my desk because it reminds me. I take it twice a day, to be honest, in the morning and then in the afternoon, to really help myself out. So there's a special code that he's given us. It's just simple. The code is SNA. SNA. And now what happens is that gives us an additional 15% off whatever you order, and that's going to be for life. So if you you take a look and you'll see that Deborah and I have been putting in the link. So there's a tiny URL link that takes you to Neurohacker, and that'll take you right into us. Or just go to neurohacker.com and then put in our code of SNA. And that's going to get you an immediate big discount. Also, to be really honest, transparent, James and Neurohacker are sponsors, and they are being very generous in giving us a lifetime commission for anybody who comes into the Qualia Neurohacker family through Saturday Night Live. So this is going to be an important way to help us to continue to move the show. And Deborah and I are excited about the possibility of having a repeat consumable product that's helping everybody to help generate income for us to continue to move the show forward. So we can continue to have great artists, and we always pay our artists. We pay for the promotional videos that you see, and we want to continue to grow this out. And this is a wonderful way to help us to do that. So everybody, please go to Neurohacker and put in that code of SNA for Saturday Night Live. Definitely, at the very least, start with the mind. Or you'll also notice if you go to the website, you'll see we can go down a little bit below, and here I'll actually do that right now. So if you go to neurohacker.com, and this is the main page, and then you'll see you can either start with just mind or get the whole package of life, mind, and night. And James, tell us just a little bit about the other two products along with mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we talked mostly about mind. So Life is our longevity anti-aging product. It works on the 5 major pathways that are associated with anti-aging. And if cognitive function isn't specifically what your need is, Life is probably, in my opinion, the best foundational supplement on the market for overall health. Right? It's improving health at the cellular level, so it helps to support across essentially everything. And then Night it's a newer product. It's only been out about a year or so, but it quickly became my favorite. Being a serial entrepreneur, I had a lot of sleeping challenges. But Night is a very different approach to sleep support than pretty much anything else I've seen. Most of what's out there, whether natural or allopathic, are essentially sedatives. They're designed to make you unconscious, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get better quality of sleep. And with Night, there's no sedatives. It's actually something you take a few hours prior to bed. But what it's designed to do is to help to reset circadian rhythms and to support getting more REM and delta sleep. And for me, it's been amazing. Totally changed quality of life, having me waking up far more rested and having a lot more energy to be able to do what I do in the world.
Great. It's true. So everybody, let's give it a go. This is, Global Peace Tribe brings you great music, great teachers, great inspiration, and now the products that are really going to help us to function at the highest level. And thank you again, James. He'll be sticking around